Hi there, and welcome to Faith for Finances. My name is Sam Piercy, and I am your host. Today, I have a very special guest, Eric Rogers. Eric, you're going to meet Eric in a minute, and he and I are going to talk about the next step in pursuing your passion, your purpose, your goals, and your dreams. Hello, Eric. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
Now, I'm going to actually read your bio first, and then I'll ask you, how it is that we got here. And I'm reading it because Eric is my son-in-law, and it's his bio and his story that I want him to share about some of the minutia of taking steps in just stepping out and doing things. So, Eric Rogers, on his website, ericuseshiswords.com, says that he is largely considered the father of modern, no, scratch that. Eric's illustrious career includes such accolades as ... contributing to the Man on the Moon and something about Napoleon, I can't remember exactly, but other such memorable historical feats. But I know Eric as a man of character, humble yet confident, somewhat funny, always very good at games like Blockus. Eric is well-spoken, intelligent, and caring. He has a lifelong passion for basketball and has just recently graduated from university and recently married our daughter and welcomed into the family. So, Eric, you excel at creating stories, making things up, and you have become quite an expert at using your words and using them. But wait, somehow using your words needs to turn into income. And that's what we want to help people with, because there's a big thing about the starving artist that we need to get broken. And you just took a passion and you said, okay, I'm going to go do this. And let's start off by, I'm going to ask you, what was your first thought when I asked you if you'd be my guest?
I definitely don't consider myself like an expert in anything I'm doing yet. So I was kind of like, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. I don't know why you want me to be your guest, but I'll do it.
There you go.
No, why not?
There you go. I'll do it. And that is why I asked you, because you're just doing it. You've had an interest in creative writing, but what was your degree in?
Biology.
Exactly.
So about as far away from creative writing as you can get.
Did you even take a course in creative writing?
Nope.
No.
Nothing even close.
There you go. But you've had an interest in it. And your website, ericuseshiswords.com. How fun is that?
It's a lot of fun. It's just, like a pure passion project kind of. I'm not expecting any income from it right now or anything, but it's a lot of fun. It's just kind of like an outlet for me to use my creative talents. I think I have creative talents, and just like kind of get it out there to a small base, and hopefully it'll grow. Exactly.
But you say you're not expecting a whole lot from that. However, what intrigued me was that you actually started right away making money. And you're like, yeah, it's, not a big deal. Not a big deal, but big enough deal that you need to report it on your income taxes. Yeah. I'm assuming that you will. And I love the way that you said, yeah, it's no big deal. And I'm like, yeah, I know a lot of creative writers. I know a lot of artists. And you did that in, a matter of a couple months? What's the time frame from I'm going to do this to you actually started to see some money in the bank account?
Yeah, so I graduated in April of last year, and then I kind of had a few months off, and then after the summer, I was kind of at like a crossroads for what I wanted to do next, and I knew I was going to work, like obviously I was going to work full-time and stuff, but on top of that, I was like, I want to give creative, like writing and using my words to make money, and to like hopefully help people go.
Yeah.
So I use some software that kind of helps connect like a freelance writer with clients.
Yeah, perfect.
Have a big client base already.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I used that, and really, I think it took about 2 weeks, and I was getting no calls at all, kind of,
Oh,
like
okay.
no inquiries. And then from there, it kind of just took off. So actually, like the first people who contacted me, I've probably written 30, 35 articles for them now.
Wow,
And
fantastic.
a lot of other people too.
Yeah, but it took 2 weeks before you had your first call.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know
it's
that.
maybe a month.
Okay, so actually, let's even back up. So you went on, so you decide you're going to do this, you're going to make some money at it.
Yeah.
Do you remember, we want to talk about the minutia, because it's often the minutia that will get people stuck. So you made the decision, you're going to look into this. Do you remember what the first thing was that you did? Did you go to Google?
Just research. And I think that's like where my biology background comes in, is you have to do a ton of research. And I think we're in a better time now than ever before to just, if you want to do something, you can go and do it, right? Because of like the internet, because of Google, you have so many resources just like literally at your fingertips at all times. So I started looking up, how do I make money with this? How do I?
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah. How do I start? How do I get clients? How do I like brand or like market myself? And
Love it.
I just started looking it up. Yeah.
Right. So you went to Google. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think we ever talked about how I did that when we needed to make a website for Jordan. Jordan is our daughter, just so that you know, Eric's wife.
My wife.
Eric's wife. So you just start, you get an idea, and then you don't know. And so it was that, okay, how do you do this? And in my experience, the how do you do this kind of led to the next question, which led to the next question, which led to the next question. So then let's talk about what happened. So you did the research, you found this software so you could start advertising or doing something. And then you said, okay, great. You probably made a profile and said, I'm available.
Yep.
Right? Then you hit okay, and now you're live, and then nothing happens for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So what happened during go ahead.
That's where I think you can easily kind of get down on yourself. Like, oh, you know, if you have a dream or passion, mine was creative writing, it's really easy because it's so abstract, right? It's not like, if you're going to be like a nurse or a teacher, it's building blocks, right? Like you go to high school, you get good grades, you go to college, and then you finish your practicum, and then you're a nurse. It's all like a straight road.
Yep.
But for this stuff, like kind of the more abstract, the more creative what you want to pursue is, the more windy the road is, the more different paths you can take, and it's all kind of up to you. So I just stuck with it. I tried on the thing, I tried messaging people, and I reduced all my prices to just about zero. So just so people would hire me, so I could build up a bit of a resume. I just kind of did what I had to do to start getting people to come. And then after you're drawing people in, that's when I started to, bring up my price a bit.
Okay. And so do you remember the first time somebody messaged you?
Yep.
And so it's obviously the person that you've written about 35 articles for or something, you said now.
Yeah.
So what did that feel like?
It was definitely, it felt like kind of like a little pat on the back, like, okay, maybe you're actually getting somewhere.
Yeah.
It's a nice little bit of validation for the hard work, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was also a bit scary because, again, like when you're freelance writing, a lot of the time you're writing about stuff that you really have almost no idea what you're writing about. Like it's whatever they're interested in, whatever they want you to talk about. And these people, I actually had no idea what I was writing about when I started.
Yeah. They had no idea what you were writing about?
No, they knew what I want. They knew what they wanted, but I had no.
Oh, gotcha.
I didn't have any knowledge on it, so I had to do a lot of research. And
perfect. Okay.
Put in extra time.
Interesting. So there was that period of time where I want to do something. Now you've got to ask a bunch of questions into the computer, and then you've got to keep asking the questions, and then you make another decision, and then you make the decision, and then nothing happens the way you had hoped it would happen. Like I think we all expect you hit send and then bing. And
just instant success, kind of.
yeah.
That's what you hope for, but that's not really usually reality. Like, it's usually you got to build up to it, right?
Right. So then the next step was to go and do some more research and to interact with people and to make some decisions about, okay, let's try pricing, let's try this, let's try that. Is that
Yeah, I
safe?
kind of
Trial and
I
error
would
a
say,
bit?
I put myself out there, and I looked at what you could look at other freelance writers on this this site
Yeah.
that I was going through, and I looked at what they were pricing their stuff for, like prices per word and stuff like that, and I was basically underselling myself, knowing that or believing in myself that I would be able to then draw back repeat customers and then move up my price after I have I just need kind of that foot in the door.
Yeah. Excellent. And so do you think that some of your background in university or biology or sport, do you think any of that factored into it, or do you have some other support that might have contributed to you, the persistence?
Well, I would say that, everything kind of like makes you who you are. So but I think biology really helped me with just kind of like the research and taking the right steps.
Awesome.
I have a lot of practice with that. So, but for kind of helping, I'd say like my wife, she wouldn't let me get your daughter.
Yeah.
She wouldn't really let me like if I got down, or if I, I'd get some people and then it'd kind of dry up for a bit, and I was like, okay, maybe this isn't working.
Yeah.
The amount of time I'm putting in, she would kind of like keep me, like another person to kind of go like, no, you're doing really well.
Yeah.
You're taking the next step forward. You're moving in the right direction.
Yeah. Okay, so how important is it to have a support team, do you think? Could you have done that without her? Would you have done it on your own? Maybe?
I think it's definitely possible to do it on your own, but I think it's always better to have other people with you, because I mean, I've read about a lot about like the most successful authors in the world and stuff, and most of them, especially when they're starting, and obviously I don't put myself in that category at all, but I've read about them. Everyone, no matter how talented they are, no matter how much success they've had, they have down times where they think that they're like an imposter, and they think that they're not good enough, and other people being there and like loving them and supporting them, I really helps. It seems to have helped a lot of people.
So, in terms of your support, you've got Jordan and your family. Do you have any obstacles besides your own mental do this? Did anybody kind of say, who are you kidding? Who do you think you are? Did you have to overcome any of that?
Not really. A little for my older brother, but not really. Like he's very supportive. He's
your older brother.
He likes to give me a hard time.
Yeah.
And I think I've been lucky to have surrounded myself with good people who like actually support. And like you guys have been really supportive. My parents really enjoy it. They like reading my stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And my friends, like they're they read my stuff. They support it. They'll share it. Obstacles. I'd say a big obstacle being newly married and newly in the workforce and doing this is time management. Commitments. You kind of have to make sacrifices sometimes. Like I remember there was a few times where I had 10 articles backed up, 10 big articles all due within the next 3 days, and it's like, how am I ever going to get this done? Like, you kind of have to buckle down and done.
That's awesome. Well, and I remember Eric and Jordan coming to visit, and the ability to multitask and to stay focused on your priorities was pretty awesome, as you could carry on a conversation and yet still be writing an article. And I was impressed with that. So let's look at the financial decision-making part, because this is faith for finances. So we wanted to talk about the minutia. We wanted to talk about some encouraging things for people. So obviously support, and I'm going to say that again and again and again and again, is community. and surrounding yourself with positive, supportive people. So you were very fortunate you already had that. But you also said something really interesting about other successful authors and how they all came to a place where they had some kind of doubt. And what's fascinating to me, and I think other people need to hear this, is that you can be mentored by other people that you don't know. Right? You can learn from other people's experiences by reading. Oh, you definitely are a reader. How important do you think that has been to helping you or encouraging you in this?
Reading, like learning from other people.
Yeah, learning from other people. Yeah.
I think it's been huge because I think there is like this very real thing, like the imposter syndrome, where again, kind of, especially kind of the more abstract stuff you get into, where there's no real like set benchmarks for like, okay, I'm this successful now, I'm this successful now. Like a lot of it, like I'm improving, there is like a very real, just like through your brain where this thought will pop in and go, like, you're just faking it. Like, you're not an author.
Yeah.
You can't write. You're not an author. You're not like these people.
Yeah.
And I think for me, kind of reading about that and going like, oh no, all of those people who are now the most, like they've sold millions and millions of books, all have that exact thought. And they still have that thought sometimes. Like, they've sold books to, millions of people, and still sometimes they go, oh, someone's going to figure out that you're just faking it. And like, just to read that, how they got rid of that thought and like just kept taking that next step forward, kept moving along, that definitely helped a lot. Yeah,
that's interesting. Take every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. Because Christ is in the abundance and the positive and love and any shame, doubt, guilt, condemnation, anxiety, all that stuff is obviously counter to what God's put in you in order to fulfill. So I said I was gonna talk about some of the financial decisions and cash flowing, but instead I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to say that you have all of those articles, plus poetry, plus building the website, and in addition to that, somehow you managed to write an entire manuscript and submit it and continue to revise this. So this is, obviously it's just in a binder, but what's really interesting about this binder is this is the binder, Eric, that I put the very first manuscript I wrote for MoneyMinding. And
oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't realize that at the time. So there we go. The Encyclopedia Anoica now holds the same binder as as MoneyMinding. There you go. But the balancing the time, probably, and then the financial commitments and the decision-making process. Can you comment on any of that? I mean, you said the 10 backed up, but can you comment on how do you balance all that?
I think it is a lot about priorities and kind of knowing where yours are, because like if you really want to be successful at anything, whether it's writing or like you're talking about finances, is I think you do have to put in a certain level of effort. You have to, like no one, like just the old saying, like hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So no matter how smart you are, how much like natural talent you have in a certain area, you have to put in the time to research it and improve in it, and keep moving towards your goal. Like if you just sit sedentary, then you're never going to get to your goal. And
right, commit to it. Commit to it, yeah, for sure. It's really a commitment is make a decision, then cut off all other options. And really, that's what you did. You started, I made a decision. And when I started talking to you about this, coming on the show, I had said one of the things that always bothered me, is I'm a big reader too, and I'd read about successful people and they go, yep, I made a decision. And then poof, the next thing you know, they were living under a bridge and now they're a multimillionaire. It's like, okay, great, you made a decision, and then what? And so you did the same kind of thing that I did, and I think more people need to hear this, is how you okay, I've got to decide, but I don't know where to start. I don't really know what the next step is, but I know I need to do the research. And so you asked Google for not having other people around that you could mentor, and then you learn from other people's experiences. And so the financial application of this, I just want to hold, if you can see this will be on the screen again, but there's a system about making decisions. So the income piece is actually step number 7, but how you get there starts with your purpose and then your vision. And so having a passion kind of fuels that, and then what are the seeds? So really what you started with was a seed of, you have an idea, you're really good with your words, God made you creative, you had a computer, you found some supportive people. And is there anything else that you think you would like to add that might, because we don't want people to stop and not pursue their passion because of finances. I think it probably would, that's definitely a big one. And so do you have anything else you want to add?
I think with anything, and what I've just been thinking about it a lot recently, because like with stuff going on, like I've got a lot of spare time, and some days you don't feel as productive and like you use your time that well as other days.
Yeah.
I kind of mentioned this to you, and it's why like we thought up the title, is like I think taking that next step forward. Like I think as soon as you, like people always say the most important thing is the first step, but I think it's always the next step. I think as long as you're always moving in the direction of your goal,
that's awesome.
Then you're on the right path, right? Like you said, you have to cut away other options. I think you do have to have a certain amount of flexibility with like, okay, maybe an obstacle drops in your path and you have to go around it, but you're always heading in, the same direction. You're heading towards what you want. And as soon as you stop, I think that's the only real time where you're going to get like that's where, the doubt's going to really set in, and you're going to go, I'm just wasting my time. I'm never going to be successful. And I think as long as you're always walking the right direction, like no matter how slowly you're going, that next step is always bringing you closer to your goal. Right?
Yes. Yeah. I love that. There's a movie, I think it's Raiders of the Lost Ark or something. There's a scene where Harrison Ford comes to the edge of a cliff.
Jones, yeah.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. I've just seen that one scene. But it's like this big black hole, and you don't really know what it is.
Step of faith, yeah.
Yeah. And then you take the step, and then.
The last arc.
Is that what it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Know what your passion and your purpose is, and to hold fast to that vision. Do you think that just in the last minute or so, do you think that there was an element in there where you calculated approximately what it was going to cost and how much then you could get on a return of investment? Is that factor into it at all?
I think for me, and again, this is a bit more abstract than finances, I'd say, but there is definitely like a, like you have to, what is it? It's like you have to spend money to make money kind of thing.
Okay.
Like, like setting up my website, setting up that thing for free, like the software for freelance writing, all that stuff is an investment in yourself. And then you're going to be making back, like I've made back way more than I invested.
Sure. Yeah.
And now I'm using that money. Like I use the majority of that money that I'm bringing in to kind of reinvest into my writing again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you looked at it right away as an investment and a return on investment. So it was calculable. It was calculable.
I kept it separate. So I know if like a big, like I've got, like enough of a nest egg, so I'm putting it back into my website and stuff.
Yeah,
but
fantastic.
I've got enough of a nest egg through my writing now, where like if a good opportunity comes up that maybe costs a bit more money and stuff, I know I've made this through my writing, and I'm going to use it to invest back into my writing and improving it.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Well, Eric uses his words.com. Eric is definitely using his words. He's also using his his research from a completely unrelated source. And we didn't really talk about your basketball and your sport, but you've got your supportive group around you. You're using all of that creative ability to take the next step and take the next step. And now you're overflowing. I mean, you said you wanted to be able to contribute to other people. So you're definitely contributing with your writing, for sure. The other thing we didn't talk about is how you have a passion, and you and Jordan are going to go and do some work this summer, but how one of your pieces you set up so that it was a fundraiser so that you could take some of the money and give back and to share. And all of that is really connecting to purpose, connecting to passion, having a vision, and then I guess, like you said, the name of the show is The Next Step. Yeah. It's not all of them necessarily, which we'd always like to know, but at least you can figure out what the next one is. So
yeah. You don't necessarily know exactly where it's going to take you, but you know where your next step's gonna.
Yeah, and if it doesn't come exactly how you want it, then just keep going and going and going, and like you said, around it. So, EricUsesHisWords.com. Eric Rogers is my guest. You can find out, there will be a link to his website. I encourage you to sign up for his blog, to download his fundraiser, to check him out on social media, because you're also doing graphics and stuff now, which is really fun. And thank you.
Thanks for having me.
I'm really glad that you came, and we will. Fun. Good. We'll see you again very soon. And thanks for tuning in to Faith for Finances. We will see you again next week. Take care and God bless.